especially former President Zuma, who not long you endorsed and said you were in good terms. He was speaking just not long to Sunday Times and saying he's in good terms with you, he's actually your friend. Is that still, is there still a friendship between you and him? Yes. And not long you tweeted something that had to do with saying that two of your favorites are going to leave soon. Do you maybe want to tell us to say who are those two favorites that everyone, or what will you anticipate to leave? And lastly, going into this MPA, there's a lot of questions. I think my colleague Alfade raised it about the issue of Mwiseni and close. Will it not divide the party further if he's not allowed to contest? From what I've been hearing is that some branches are planning to actually protest against the decision if he's not allowed to process, to contest. And maybe lastly, are you endorsing Collins Khadi to be your deputy? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice. Number 5. Number 5 is here. Okay, we'll do another round of questions.
With SABC. Mr. Malema, one question keeps on lingering on one's head is that throughout the years since the establishment of the EFF, you came across as a politician that was very calculated. And with these leaders leading the party, did you, throughout this year, did you anticipate it? The second question I have is, you are going to your third NPA. It's the first time you guys are going to it facing these challenges. Are you concerned, especially with regards to what's been happening, that perceptions that the EFF is going through the most? Is it make or remake or break for the party? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I don't know what you want me to answer on Ndlozi, because I never said anything about Ndlozi. So do not bring your Shebin gossip to me and want me to glorify some toilet discussion. I'm not part of that. EFF has never said anything. If we've got anything to tell you, we'll communicate it. So when you gossip at Kitcheners in Bramfontein, and then after gossiping at Kitcheners, you want us to be part of Kitcheners discussions, don't involve us in any of those things. We don't know what you're talking about. And if we had anything to communicate to you, we would have said it. My divisive leadership is what I've been accused of, dictatorship and all of that, since my time in the Youth League. And you still join a party of a person who is a dictator. Why did you join it in the first place? Just stay home. Why do you join decisive party? You came knowing that the president of the EFF is divisive. Why did you join? We made this call that people should join, and they did so voluntarily. You joined the party, you didn't know that the leader was divisive, and then you come here and say the leader is divisive. You joined voluntarily. If you are not happy with the leadership, the door is open. You can leave now. So we are not going to be made sheepish and undecisive because we want to please a non-existing narrative that we are divisive. How can you build such a big organization, not only in the country and in continental and in the diaspora, if you have a divisive leadership? Why would you bring so many people in the stadiums, packing stadiums, successful events of the EFF, if you are divisive? Because the consequence of divisive leadership is that nothing succeeds out of divisive leadership. This organization is a success. It's the biggest organization that is black owned. It's owned by its own people, its own members. No any organization can claim that. It does not receive any sponsorship from white people. If anything, it is white people who want it to die. But it keeps on going, irrespective of how they feel about it. So, if you think we have a divisive leadership, it's not our baby. It's your baby to feed Malta Bella. On Pala Pala, we said to you, and I don't know why do you say, what do you seek to achieve? We told you Pala Pala will never die. For as long as the EFF is in Parliament, which it is where we are, and whether you like it or not, those who wish for the death of the EFF, SG, even if the EFF was to die tomorrow, the branches don't exist, the region have collapsed, provinces have collapsed. We've got 39 members of Parliament for the next 5 years. There's nothing that is going to collapse. Those votes are there, they won't collapse. They're going to collapse after 5 years. So you've got guaranteed 5 years of the existence of the EFF, at least in Parliament. So whether you like it or not, the EFF is there to hold Pala Pala accountable. There is something terrible that happened in the previous administration. We referred the matter of impeachment to the panel as required by the rules of Parliament. Why? Because they know that if we were to say, is there prima facie evidence or not, we are going to be subjective because we are politicians. So on matters such as those, you outsource them to non-parliamentarians so that you get an objective view. And that's what we did. We argue that the panel's report, Parliament can't go against it without any rational reason. Parliament has not reasoned why it went against the panel report. So, in South Africa, you cannot abuse majority. Majoritarian will only work where there is no constitution. Majoritarian cannot stand the test of time in court. If you say the majority have voted, even if they voted in an unconstitutional manner, and then you say no, majority have spoken, there's nothing we can do about it. Our constitution doesn't work like that. Every decision, even a decision of the majority, must meet a rational test, and that's what we're going to do. We have never hidden away the reasons why we removed the former deputy president from KZN and those that were deployed with him. We had a meeting of our owners, the EFF. We made assessment. An assessment we made out of our own now direct interaction with the ground in KZN and the complaints we have been receiving from KZN led to the removal of the former deputy president and others. You know, to show you that there was something wrong that the deputy president was doing with other colleagues in KZN. Everything that was reported to us was extremely perfect. So they mastered the mechanism to meet the requirements, even if those things do not exist. There was a point where we wanted people to the stadium, to Moses Mabhida Stadium. Yes. And the numbers we received were extremely more than the numbers we received for votes. And that on its own just told us there's something wrong. And then we did not intervene after. We intervened before. Unfortunately, we were very late. And that's why after we intervened, the SG was able to pull a mother of all matches before the elections in eThekwini. Because that time we're now reclaiming our organization and trying to reposition it. Unfortunately, we're out of time and we had to go to the elections. Me and President Zuma were very good. The same way me and President Ramaphosa were very good. But it doesn't stop me from saying he's corrupt, because he is corrupt. By being good to you doesn't mean I must not tell you the truth. If you listen to my speech yesterday in the Gauteng General Assembly, I said, you must tell the truth even if telling the truth to a lover or your lifetime partner or your wife or your husband. If it is the truth, it must be told. President Zuma is corrupt. And it's not me. The public protector found him to be wrong. He rejected that. We took him to court. That's why he had to pay some monies back in relation to Nkandla. So what more do you want? What is misleading about that? Because it was not only me. The public protector came to the conclusion that there were wrongdoings in Nkandla. The Constitutional Court said yes, he must pay back the money. And we were singing in Parliament that he must pay back the money. But it doesn't mean I've got anything against him personally. I'm dealing with issues of principle. And if it means telling them to your wife when she's wrong or your husband, I'll also do the same thing. We have no relationship with MKP. And even worse now when MKP has made it its program to recruit leaders of the EFF. Tomorrow we are marching to the Constitutional Court with everyone except MKP. The MKP won't be part of our march. If they want to march, they must go and organize their own. But ATM and even ANC can't join us. It's our march. And any other person that has been opposed to Phala can join the EFF march tomorrow, starting from Mary Fitzgerald Square. At what time is it? 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Mary Fitzgerald Square, marching all the way to Constitutional Court. I don't know what's going to happen to you, Tsidi, because you couldn't even walk here. There's small distance here. Imagine Mary Fitzgerald Square to Constitutional Court. So your problems are too many this week. So we are marching there. Why? We are highlighting the corruption of President Cyril Ramaphosa and the corruption of the ANC. And we will never stop highlighting how corrupt ANC is and President Ramaphosa, and that doesn't clean President Zuma. I've never said I have any problem with President Zuma. Even tomorrow or any other day I can go and have tea with him. But I don't agree with him. And I don't agree with him not only from this microphone point of view. I tell him 4 eyes that I don't agree. I'm that type of a leader. My problem in South African politics is that I'm not a pushover. No one can push me around. Not white monopoly capital, not a white person, not so much powerful leader can push me around. And I'm hated for that. That no one can push me over. That such someone from a poor background, so poor family and so poor everything, who is he to think he can defy us? But that's me and that's my nature. I don't care. I stick to principle. No one can push me over. Not in a marriage, not in my family, not in politics, not in the social circle. I'm no pushover. I'm not a pushover. And I'm not going to allow anyone to push me over because we've got some relationship. If my wife can't push me over, why would President Zuma push me over? For what? What will I be begging from him? Which I did not beg from him when I was in the Youth League, when I was in the ANC. So it can't be that because we are being civil with President Zuma, therefore, when you are civil with him, you can't disagree with him. You must allow him to push you around, not me. And Mail and Guardian came with something, man, this weekend, which Ndlozi responded to. Rebellion, which is another question we asked. There is no branch that is going to protest here. Not a single one. As a political reporter, you have to have at least an entry understanding of politics, just entry. You may not understand the depth of politics, but just have the most basic thing. So let's tell you basic, and the instrument you use to measure whether there's going to be a problem or not is those PGAs we had yesterday and a day before. They were not just PGAs. We were testing the waters so that we can anticipate and detect where the problem is going to come from. There was no single problem. Not one, not anywhere. The people you are talking about, they were never spoken about anywhere. Anyway, in 9 provinces, we registered 95% of expected delegates. All of them are registered. They are coming to UJ on the 12th to come and receive their accreditation after producing their ID. Everybody is registered. So you should know that the PGAs will tell you what's going to happen. And your bosses know because you were there in the PGAs. But the PGAs are not trending in the media. And this I was telling my wife. I said, you know why? She said, why? I said, because there was nothing wrong. Nothing went wrong. That's why they can't trend. You don't talk positive about the EFF. If any province had disrupted the PGA, that province was going to be a definition of all our PGAs, including those that were successful. Weekend. Disappointed. We're not Malema the tactician. Oh, we are no longer tactician. Betile weekend. Bad time. Nothing that happened in the PGAs that is not going to happen here. And we did nothing. We went, we opened the PGAs, all of us. And then after that we left. So that branches can talk freely and express themselves. And which they did. And I don't know why you don't learn, because this is a repetition of what we've been doing over a period of time. And many of you were there, and were aging together. Very soon you will be called veteran political journalist, but you still don't have an understanding of how do you get to see what's going to happen next. Everybody that I said that your favorites are going to leave the EFF, all those that we have anticipated are gone. Are gone. Everybody that we thought is going to leave, they left. Now we're proper. That's why you go fundraising even expired goods that are no longer relevant to the EFF. And then you say, so and so is leaving from the EFF, like high profile, referring to an expired goods. Because you are running out of high profiles. There is no one who's going to leave the EFF. Mail and Guardian even says exodus. Exodus must exit. In your imagination, if we can say to you, give us a list of 15 members who left the EFF, 15, exodus. You can't give us that. Nothing like that. Tell us which councillors of the EFF in the most remote rural municipalities have resigned from the EFF to join MK. None. But we can give those in case they turn about the ANC. But it's not called exodus. Tell us of any branch of the EFF that called a press conference under the tree and say, as this branch we are all leaving the EFF. Nothing. Tell me of any region that has said and taken a decision that as Ikuruleni region, as eThekwini, as Vembe region, we have taken a decision we are leaving the EFF. Nothing like that. So imagination is what is destroyed Mail and Guardian, by the way. Mail and Guardian was used to be the most influential newspaper. You guys have run it down. It is now even worse than Sunday World. Sunday World is more perfect with politics than Mail and Guardian, which used to set the agenda. And this is not a media attack, it's an honest assessment. So this is what used to happen when we were growing up. Because we were in the newspapers when we were young, maybe from 17, 18, 16 years. My biggest picture in a newspaper for the first time was in Mail and Guardian when I was elected president of COSAS. The story was written by Matuma. I don't know if he's still in the media. Mail and Guardian will write on Friday, then we know what is going to be the angle on Sunday. And then that angle of Sunday will influence what's going to happen the whole week until Mail and Guardian writes again on Friday. Can you claim that today? No. Your own colleagues don't follow your stories. So fighters, why do you follow people that are not being followed by their own colleagues? If Fedile Mail and Guardian you wrote on Friday, mass exodus, wara. Saturday and Sunday PGAs came. Which of those events confirmed what you wrote in Mail and Guardian? Don't lie. You must not lie. The media must not lie. The media must be factual. And where you are factual, we'll never take you on. We'll answer and be held accountable for that. But when you lie, we must tell you it's a lie. It's a lie. It's like this lie you are perpetuating, that Zuma has got dual membership. Zuma has got no dual membership. He's not a member of the ANC. ANC has expelled him. And Zuma lies to you. Sunday Times, he says, no, I'm a member of the ANC. I'm a member of MK. It's not true. Why not tell him on his face? You are a liar. You are not a member of the ANC. He lies on your face. You take that lie and feed the nation. Why do you feed the nation a lie? He's not a member of the ANC. And Zuma were being civil with him and MKP and all of that. They must know any lie they tell, we are going to take them head on. And the ground forces must mark those criminals of MK on social media. As they come, go for them. Don't even apologize. They think they can bully us on the social media by revealing some old non-connecting stories and say, but these people are not consistent. We have been consistent about Zuma. When I went to Zuma's place, it had nothing to do with anything or politics. It had everything to do with South Africa. Zuma was refusing to go to the commission. They were going to arrest him and there was going to be violence in South Africa. And I went to tell him, please, there cannot be violence in our country in your name. Because I love this country so much. So much that I'm able to go into my hater's yard to go and save South Africa. And Zuma refused and said he's not going to go. It happened exactly as I wanted. He got arrested and we had the July unrest. And I will do it again if it means saving South Africa. I will do it again. I went to Zuma in Nkandla to have tea with him to save this country. I did not win. But unlike many of you losers, I did not fail to try. I tried because I love this country and I will try again. I don't endorse Godrich or anyone. I don't. I don't get involved. Even in my discussion with individual leaders of the EFF, I tell them we can talk about everything else except that who must become what. It's not my business to do that. The provincial leadership of the EFF came to me, all provinces came to me and asked me to avail myself as a president of the EFF in the next NPA. And I agreed. And they only came to discuss me with me. They didn't come to discuss other people. And it is their duty as provincial leaders to do that. To tell us that you must avail yourself, or even if you avail yourself, please be aware that we will not support you for this position. It doesn't mean hatred, it's just an honesty, so that when you arrive here at the NPA, you don't say, these guys hate me. Why didn't they talk to me? I would have understood. No, they are doing their work. And as part of the tradition, all of us who are sitting here today, leaders of the EFF in the provinces before the current ones, came to us to come and ask us to avail ourselves.